You know, your house is always talking to you. But I'm not talking about the usual creaks and groans. I mean its electrical system. It's sending out these little signals all the time. In this explainer, we're going to decode those secrets and figure out exactly what they mean. So let's just ask it straight up. Is your home trying to tell you something? Because all those little electrical quirks, the ones you've probably gotten used to, well, they're not just annoyances, they're messages. And trust me, ignoring them can be a really big mistake. I'm sure some of this sounds familiar, right? The lights flicker for a second when the air conditioning kicks on. Maybe you've heard a faint buzzing sound coming from your breaker box. Or a light switch that feels a little warm. It's so easy to just shrug and say, it's just an old house thing. But really, these are whispers. They're warnings that something's not quite right behind your walls. And this is such a great way to think about it. Your electrical system is basically the central nervous system of your entire home. So that little twitch, that flickering light, it might seem like nothing, but it could actually be a symptom of a much bigger and potentially much more dangerous problem. All right, so let's dig into these warning signs a little deeper. We're going to move past the stuff that's just annoying and talk about what could be real, actual dangers hiding right there in plain sight. Now, this is something we see all the time. A breaker trips, you go flip it back on, no big deal, right? Well, think of it this way. A breaker isn't just a reset button. It's your system's emergency brake. And if that brake keeps getting pulled over and over again, that's a huge signal that your system is either overloaded or flat out deteriorating. And that is not a DIY situation. That's when you need to call a pro immediately. Okay, now we're going to get even more specific. There are two major red flags, especially in older homes, that really raise the stakes. These are the kinds of issues you absolutely positively cannot afford to ignore. Okay, first up is aluminum wiring. Now, if your house was built between, say, 1965 and 1972, there's a pretty decent chance this is what you've got. And look, on the surface, it's just wire. But the way this particular material behaves over time, well, that's where the hidden danger comes in. So here's the deal. At every point where these aluminum wires connect to an outlet or a switch, they start to oxidize. Basically, they corrode. That corrosion creates resistance. And what does electrical resistance create? Heat. A lot of heat. We're talking about a serious, well-documented fire hazard that's baked right into the material itself. All right, red flag number 2 is a big one. It's a specific brand of circuit breaker panel. Federal Pacific Electric, or FPE for short. You'll find these in thousands and thousands of homes, and they are infamous, absolutely notorious for one critical and incredibly dangerous flaw. And this is exactly why they're such a hazard. A circuit breaker has one job, just one, to trip and shut off the power when there's an overload. That's it. But FPE breakers, they often just don't. They fail to trip, so the circuit gets overloaded, the power keeps flowing, the wires start to overheat, and that one single safety device you're counting on to protect your home completely fails you. And of course, there are a few other dead giveaways. See those old two-prong outlets? That means your system isn't grounded. Forget just safety. Your expensive electronics have zero protection from power surges. And if you ever smell something burning, like plastic, or see sparks from an outlet, that's not a warning sign. That's an active hazard. It means something is overheating right now. You do not wait on those. So you might be wondering, why is this stuff so common in older homes? Well, it's really a story of 3 things coming together: age, climate, and the frankly insane demands we put on our electrical systems today. I mean, just look at this comparison. It tells the whole story, doesn't it? A system from the 1970s was built to handle, what, a TV, a fridge, a few lights? That's it. Fast forward to today, we've got central HVAC, we're charging our electric cars, we have computers, smart home, everything. We are asking a vintage system to do a high-tech, modern job, and it just was never, ever designed for that kind of stress. And hey, if you live somewhere hot, let's take Southern California, for example, the problem gets 10 times worse. Think about it. In the summer, that AC is running pretty much nonstop. That puts this massive, relentless load on an electrical system that's already undersized and getting old. It's often the final straw that pushes a system from just being stressed to total failure. Okay, enough doom and gloom. The good news here is that there are very clear, modern solutions to all of this. So let's pivot and talk about what it actually takes to build an electrical system that's not just way safer, but is actually capable of handling everything you want to throw at it. Just remember this one number: 200. 200 amps. That is the modern standard. That's the capacity you want for a modern home. And when you think about the old 60 or 100 amp panels, I mean, this is a massive leap. This is the foundation that everything else is built on. So what does that 200 amps actually get you? Well, it means you can have a powerful level 2 EV charger, you can run a modern, high-efficiency HVAC system, you can have all your smart home gadgets going, and you can do it all at the same time without ever worrying about tripping a breaker. It's not just about what you need today, it's about being future-proof. Plus, modern systems come with these incredible life-saving safety features built right in. You've got AFCI breakers. Their job is to detect these tiny, dangerous electrical arcs in your walls that can start fires. Then you have GFCIs. Those are the ones that protect you from getting shocked in places like kitchens, bathrooms, or outdoors. These are technologies that the old panels just didn't have. Now, I know what you're thinking. Upgrading your whole electrical system sounds like this huge, scary project. But honestly, it's a very structured, professional process when it's done right. So let's just quickly walk through what it actually looks like. Really, it all comes down to 4 simple steps. First, a pro comes out and does a thorough assessment to figure out what you actually need. Then, you get a clear written estimate, no surprises. The installation itself has to be done completely up to code. And finally, everything is tested and verified to make sure it's all working perfectly and, more importantly, safely. And let me be super clear about this. This part is non-negotiable. Any major electrical work absolutely requires permits and official inspections. This isn't just bureaucracy or red tape. It's the only way to guarantee that the job was done right, that it's safe, and that it meets all the strict local codes. It's your ultimate peace of mind. So, we're going to end right back where we started with a question for you. After hearing all this, what's the verdict on your place? Is your home's electrical system a solid foundation, totally ready for the future? Or is it an aging relic, whispering those little warnings that maybe, just maybe, it's finally time to listen?